Dummies can be really useful for settling tired or upset infants, and there's nothing wrong with this, especially as I'm sure they've kept many a parent sane in the first few months of sleepless nights. Some studies have also shown that dummies may be useful in encouraging strong sucking patterns in very young infants, particularly those born prematurely. But their specific usefulness declines after a developmental age of about 6 months. It's worth having a think about how long your child continues to use the dummy for and how often they use it during the day, as it's these factors that can cause problems for speech and language skills, not the dummy itself. It's a good idea to try to stop using dummies altogether by the time your child is 12 months old. If you do choose to carry on with the dummy after this time, then certainly restrict it to sleep times only. If your child carries on using the dummy for prolonged periods of time once they're toddlers, this is where dummies can cause real problems in the following areas. Young babies make cooing and babbling sounds, and this is how they prepare for their first words at about 12 months of age. When a child has a dummy in their mouth, they're less likely to experiment with this essential stage of vocal play. Dummy sucking babies can tend to be more contented and don't actively seek as much stimulation and interaction from toys and people around them. This means less opportunities for building their communication skills. If your child constantly tries to talk with a dummy in their mouth, it stops their tongue from getting into the right position for speaking, and as a result, errors in speech patterns might arise, such as a slushy sounding when air escapes from the sides of the mouth rather than the front, or backing of sounds, where sounds usually made at the front of the mouth, like t, are instead made at the back. It's not just speech and language therapists who don't like prolonged dummy use. Dentists aren't big fans of this either. Prolonged dummy use, once the teeth have started to appear, can make the teeth uneven. Sometimes it can cause an open bite where the front teeth can't close together. This can affect speech sounds and results in problems with the s sound, making it sound lispy. So thun instead of sun, as the tongue pokes through the gap at the front instead of staying behind the teeth. Try getting a dummy with an orthodontic teat, as these are designed to cause the least damage to the growth of your child's teeth. Avoid the cherry-shaped ones like this one. Never dip the dummy in sugary food or drinks. This is a fast track to significant tooth decay. Children who use dummies a lot might also tend to breathe through their mouth rather than their nose, and this may cause increased dribbling, leading to a sore mouth and chin. Recent research in Norway has shown conclusively that the use of dummies in children under the age of 4 who have a history of ear infections is not a good idea. There is a 90% increased risk of recurrent ear infections in those who sucked a dummy compared with those who didn't. Glue ear is a common type of middle ear infection which causes fluctuating hearing loss, and this can really affect your child's ability to learn language. So, if your child is prone to ear infections, it's advisable to stop the dummy. Remember also, dummies can get dirty and might cause unwanted germs in the mouth. Lots of parents find it easier to stop the dummy sooner rather than later, as the longer it goes on, the more difficult it will be for your child to give up. You might have a few days of a very fractious and unsettled baby, but they'll soon learn to do without it, and you'll have done them a huge favour. Lots of parents have said to me that it actually wasn't as bad as they thought it was going to be, and they really quickly noticed that their child was talking more. Here are some ideas you could try. Always remove the dummy from your child's mouth when they're talking. Try not to give the dummy as a matter of course. Wait till your child asks for it. If your child starts a new experience, like a new playgroup, don't bring along the dummy. They'll accept this as part of the new experience. You could start slowly by restricting the dummy just to bedtime. Don't give your child the dummy during the day. This will mean you'll have to round up every single dummy and put them in a box out of sight so your child can't help themselves. Distract your child during the day by playing together, reading and chatting so that they don't think about the dummy. If your child gets upset, try comforting them with other things first, like a cuddle or a favourite book, instead of reaching for the dummy straight away. How about sharing a book about giving up the dummy? The Last Nunu by Jill Murphy is a really good one, and so is No More Dummy for Piggy. You could try going cold turkey and getting rid of the dummy altogether in one go. Always be upfront with your child about doing this. They won't be happy or cooperative if you do this on the sly. Involving them in the process and giving them responsibility for it will make them feel grown up and that it's their choice to stop using the dummy. They'll be more likely to accept it if they think it's their idea and they've got some control. Choose the right time to get rid of the dummy, a time when there's no added pressures like moving house, starting nursery or a new baby in the house. You might find your child has trouble settling to sleep for a little while if they use a dummy to sleep with. Plan some other wind down activities like cuddles and sharing bedtime stories or lullabies together instead. Be prepared that they might have trouble settling for a while until they get used to this. Swap the dummy for a small gift or treat. Think of something you know your child will really love and find motivating. There are lots of clever ways to get your child to swap the dummy. Think of one that will appeal to your own child. All children are different. A friendly make-believe figure could do the swap. The dummy fairy is a popular one. You could write a letter to the fairy from your child saying they want to give their dummies to new babies who really need them. Leave the dummies under the pillow with a letter and swap them in the night for a small gift and a letter back from the fairy praising them for being such a big boy or girl and helping all the little babies. And there's a really good book about this called Giving Up the Dummy with the Dummy Fairy. There's even a little fairy who can hold the dummies for you. Or you could collect the dummies in a bag and tie this to a tree and wait for the fairy. Birthdays are a good time. Post the dummies to a friend or relative to show that your child is big and grown up now so they don't need the dummy anymore. Maybe your child could receive back a letter or a card congratulating them. Use any special cultural or religious celebration. Leave the dummy out for Santa's reindeers or the Easter Bunny, or in exchange for a special gift your child would normally receive at Eid, Diwali, Hanukkah, Chinese New Year or any other special occasion. You could tie the dummy to a helium balloon and let your child release it up into the clouds where the baby birds can find them. Swap your dummy with your local speech and language therapist, dentist, nursery teacher, health visitor or any other willing person in exchange for a sticker or picture book to colour in. Maybe ask them to talk to your child about why it's a good idea to stop the dummy. If you have a friendly postman, how about asking him to take away the dummies next time he comes to the door so he can deliver them to a house with a new baby? Out of earshot, just tell him to pop them in your bin on the way out. Visit your local farm when the new baby animals are born. Get your child to leave the dummy there for the new babies. You could see if one of the staff could do a bit of acting and help you out with this one. Of course, you could always conveniently lose the dummies and not replace them. Instead, you could buy a little gift or take your child on a special outing somewhere nice. Make sure you get rid of every single dummy and don't be tempted to stash one away just in case. You might be tempted to give in during a bad patch, but if they're not there, you can't. Once your child cuts down their dummy use or stops it altogether, you will never look back. You'll have so many more opportunities to chat, sing and play, and this is what will help your child's language develop. Take a look at the other films on our website, which will show you how you can boost your child's talking and listening skills now their mouth is free to get working. You'll find a useful introduction film, which will guide you to the right film for the stage your child is at with their talking. And there are also films specifically designed for dads and grandparents, as well as a range of other topics.